What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, he's back from the dead.
Your
Putting it
show.
on the map, yeah. Saskatoon, right next to New York. Yeah, what show, yeah.
Your show.
What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah.
Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Boy, man, I just love that intro so much. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of your show. My name is Gary. I hope the day has treated you incredibly well. If not, we are here to make it better because that is what we are all about. We have a huge show. What's the old saying? A really, really big show. Is that Johnny Carson? Is that Johnny Carson? Producer Ethan? I think so. Is that Johnny Carson?
Really big show.
I think that is. That voice you hear as we make the big reveal, we were talking about using a burlap sack before, and just any guest comes in, we just have a burlap sack, so you don't know who's under there, but that voice, if you live in this, dare I say, not just city, but province, you know that voice. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Croker!
Hey! My favorite day of the week, being on Gary's show. Your new intro is lights out.
It's nuts. And the best part about that,
The more Maggie, the better.
lots of bark, bark, woof, woof. Who
Yeah.
wants a treat? Always serve. Hey, you know what? I think we might be lined up for a Maggie Cam with a incredible pose. Let's go Maggie Cam right now, boys. Let's hit this hard.
Oh,
Look at the arm
what a
hang.
good girl.
Look at the leg hang.
See, that's just a classic dog pose
Oh,
right
I
there.
love her
She's got the
so
left
much.
paw tucked in. She's got the
Yeah.
other one dragged over there. She's looking right in there with a
And
tilted
smile.
head.
Oh, look at that.
What a good girl.
Shout out to Mike and Rochelle over at Pet Plan on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Everyone I talked to now is going over there, so that's super cool. I'm going to be going there, I believe, tomorrow to get some food. So
I get my
to
dog
Mike
food
and
there now,
Rochelle.
too.
See, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Brando
Absolutely.
does. Network Ryan's going there. We got everyone going there. It's like huge supporters of this movement. So we love, love, love that. And we love the Maggie Camp. It is the belle of the ball. Croker, how the hell are you, buddy? We missed you, man.
I've had 2 beer lunches today, so I'm loosey-goosey. I'm feeling good.
Best day of your life.
So, yeah, let's just let it loose, have some fun, and talk about random Saskatoon things, talk about some sports, talk about whatever.
Absolutely.
What do you want to talk about, Gary?
It sounds almost like you should have a show about those things.
Okay, I have a question for you. When
Prove
was
it.
the last time you went to the hose?
Oh, man. Do you know what? I can actually tell you. I was up on the deck for a work event at the old workplace.
See, that's an underrated rooftop patio, right?
So
when you
good.
think of Saskatoon rooftop patios,
Oh, here we go.
O'Shea's
Yes.
and Yardenflagon, right?
That's it.
Now, the one at the hose back in the day was what it used to be.
Yeah.
They didn't have that rooftop. It was kind of like the second floor one, right? It's
Yeah, it
kind
was
of hidden,
weird.
but it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's its own little thing. That was a bad voice crack, by the way. I just went to their reopening.
Ooh,
3
tell me
halls.
more.
This is not a paid thing, by the way. They're not like, oh, hey, whatever. I just saw something on Instagram. I was like, oh, they reopened now as 3 halls. Man, they moved the bar to the other side of the restaurant.
Like where all the
So
seating
like they
used to be?
completely demoed the whole place. It does not look like the hose in there at all anymore.
Does it still have the stairs?
It has the staircase. It has like I look at that staircase and I'm like, oh, hello, old friend. I've fallen down you a time or two, right?
I've fallen for
but
you many
and
times.
so was the rule when you were growing up, if you fall down twice, you're out? You get one like breakfast ball kind of thing when it comes to falling down the stairs?
For us, see, we were a very unique situation because we rolled with the rugby boys back in the day, and the rugby boys were hugely supported by that place. So when you're with the rugby boys and gals, you don't get kicked out. Like we would have full-on rugby games in the building, and they would just laugh at us. We'd be tossing full pitchers all over the place, like cue balls flying. Like we had a literal, I guess it would be like a sort of American Gladiators eliminator setup where like a girl one time said, Gary, I could go right through you right now. And I was like, guys, like, we don't want to be doing this in a bar, do we? Sure enough, all the boys said, let's go. All the staff said, let's go. So I said, okay, let's go. Lined up in front of a door, and she was supposed to push me through the door, and she went from one end all the way full speed, and I felt so bad because I just, it's fat Gary. I just went,
Sounds like a Terry
flying
Tate
over.
episode right now on YouTube or something
it was
like
pretty
that.
bad. Like she probably hurt herself a little bit because she really wanted to move me, and I felt like, that's just the little bit of the shenanigans compared to the actual shenanigans that we can't talk about.
I would leave that place at like, I don't know, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And you know how the dance floor is on the 3rd floor?
Yep.
You would walk out to your cab or your Uber or whatever. you would see the building move.
would
And you're
actually
like, man, this
shake.
can't
Full
be
on
safe.
shaking.
This place
Yeah.
is so sketchy, right? So I walk in there today. They completely like redid it all. And they got such a firefighter vibe in there too,
Got
where
the
it's
pole?
all firefighter murals and stuff. The pool is gone.
Okay, but what about
So
the
there's
fire
no-
pole? I mean,
Oh no, the fire pole. I don't know if they ever had.
they didn't. I'm saying I
No,
want one.
No, they don't have one. But they got rid of the pool area. They put in more VLTs.
We
So
like
if
that.
you love the wildlife, there you go.
You ever win on that damn game? No one wins anymore.
I'm
That
more of a
game used to be
smash the
hot-
pigs. I'm more of a
Me
smash the
too,
pigs kind of
yes.
guy. I love smashing pigs.
Smash
baby.
them all.
But wildlife, Veracucha. Veracucha is another one that's popular amongst my friends. But the upstairs not done yet, but it's officially open if you want to go. If you're a Saskatoon lifer and you went to the hose a lot, this will blow your mind. Like you will be
that
like
big,
Owen Wilson from any movie. Wow. Oh wow.
Oh wow!
Wow, this place,
Wow.
you walk in, you don't recognize it. You just, like, they don't, you know, the normal front door, it's gone. They have the side door as the front door now, and it
Sounds like a maze.
Again, I'm just telling you, if you're used to being in Saskatoon, you know the old hose, it's going to blow your mind, the new hose. 3 halls is what it's called. So
3 halls.
Yeah.
3 halls. If you want to advertise
Mm-hmm.
with us, head to dufferinave.com and you can all the info there. And we'd love to tell more stories about the history of your incredible building because we really did have so much fun there, and I mean so much fun there.
A couple good times.
Couple
Maybe
good
like
times.
2 or 3, hey? How's your weekend? How's things?
Weekend was absolutely fantastic. We did some CCO, aka the Commander Cookout podcast, best podcast in the world. Did some
Producer
recording
Ryan.
of that, yeah. And we
Producer
also
Ryan,
did
off camera, hanging out.
the best. We also did the first edition of the Gary and Brando Get Good at Games Extravaganza show that we're starting, which is going to be fantastical about games and the history of games and us embarrassing ourselves playing games. And then I was at TCU Place. It was a place to be on the weekend. I had the Pink Wig Gala upstairs, and we had the Fire in the Kitchen cook-off downstairs. And I got to see all my firefighting brothers and sisters over there and cried a whole bunch as we just learned about how much love is shared in that community and just getting to reconnect with everyone. It was absolutely fantastic. How about you?
Slow weekend for you, hey?
It
Couple
was so-
things.
I felt like I actually had a job for
Yeah.
a bit. It was weird.
My wife was gone for a dance competition, so I did
Yes.
the solo parenting thing.
And
so
how'd it go?
Solo parenting is the most fun. It is the most fun, but it's also the most stressful thing ever.
sounds
Right? You
really
get all
hard,
your time with
yeah.
your kid, you're having a blast, but also you're like, I'm the most stressed I've ever been in my life. So now
Dad
that
just wants a nap.
Yeah, I don't know if any dance parents are out there right now, but dance parents, like, shout out to you during this time of
Yes.
year. From February to about mid-April, May. It is crazy for dance parents. It's competition, it's costumes, it's recital, it's another competition, it's more costumes for some reason. It just doesn't end. Like, if you think that hockey parents have it tough, dance parents, I think, are sneaky tougher than, like, hockey parents, right?
Totally.
Hockey parents might be on the road like 4 or 5 weekends of the year, you know, but like dance parents are doing it.
All
It's
the
every
time.
weekend. It seems like there's some kind of dance thing. So
Yeah.
that's
And
my future, Gary.
Your beautiful wife is like tip at the top when it comes to
Yeah.
the dance
Oh, yeah.
coaching, instructing, all that too.
And
so
then,
that's
here's the thing: she works for the Blaze and the Rush at the same time, so she's doing all that
So much
stuff.
work.
So, what do you want to talk about, Gary? What do you want to talk about?
I want to know, Croker, first and foremost, how are our blades looking? Give me our blades update. We've had no blades talk for the last couple of days, and I
Yeah.
feel like I'm letting everybody down. You're
No,
here to save the day.
no.
Tell us
Again-
what's going on.
As much as the Blades are number one in my universe, I understand they're still a junior hockey team, and to most people, you know, okay, the Blades might not be on your radar. They are still the home local team, though,
Yes.
right? Always support the local team. That's what I say.
Yes.
It's not about the Blades. It's not about the logo. It's not about anything like that. It's about Saskatoon. It's about just, you know, so many times I see people, how do I meet friends? How do I meet new people? Go to a Blades game. Another voice crack. What? Am I 12
You're
going
getting
through
amped up,
puberty
man.
right now?
No, you're
What's
getting
going on?
amped up.
But that's the thing. I get excited when I talk about the Blades because
Yeah.
it's such a I've developed such a family there. I've developed such a community there where it's such a fun time being at those games. You look forward to going to those games, especially when it's the playoffs, right? So
Especially when they're
they've
really
won
good.
8 games in a row. So they lost game 1 to PA. They have won not just 8 games in a row, but 8 playoff games in a row, Gary.
That's a lot.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah.
The thing is, here's the rub. Moose Jaw's coming to town.
You warned us about Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw they got the Firkus Circus.
The big
and
three,
like
man.
as a redhead, I always support the redheads. I always support the redheads.
And they're
Shout out
amazing.
Matt Bonner. Shout out the Sedin. Shout out
nicknames are
Travis
always good,
Lulay.
yeah.
Producer Rye. We're all redheads, right? We're all in this together. Carson Wentz, you suck, but we still love you. We still love you. Can we imagine? Like, man, Carson Wentz is a poor man, Andy Dalton. Did you ever see that coming? That's disgusting. But like usually I try to stick with the redheads. Screw this redhead. Jaeger Furcus, you're on my watch list. You're done.
Wow.
Go Blades, go. But Jaeger Furcus is a weapon.
Really good.
So he was taken by Seattle in the second round. Could end up being like the steal of the draft. When you know, like 10 years on the NHL Network, they look back.
Yeah,
This could be Jaeger Furcus is legit. I think he wasn't drafted because he was a ginger. And it's like, what gingers are good at stuff?
Are you saying the color of his hair kept him from a hot? Wow.
I'm throwing it out there because
I don't
he's
want
got
him to
the
do
red mustache. So, like, you know, when I have my old, it kind of throws you off a little bit. It's like, what,
In a good
red
way.
mustache? You don't see that every day in the wild, right? He was rocking his mustache during like draft day and everything like that. It was just, but he's good. Denton Matejchuk leading the WHL in playoff points right now. Braden Yeager, who is a Saskatoon boy, first round pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins, lighting it up for Moose Jaw.
Like they were all hot
And
at the
then
World Juniors, right?
Matthew
Like they
Savoy
were,
is their best player. Top 10 pick for the Buffalo Sabres, played in the NHL this year. After that, though, it falls off a freaking cliff. It falls off a cliff. So you have four guys who are just future NHL superstars, maybe a couple Hall of Famers. Maybe. That's a huge prediction.
That's a hot
But
prediction.
you have some like solid hockey players on this Moose Jaw team, but their second, third, and fourth lines are not good. So if you're the Saskatoon Blades, you just have to focus on like just they're going to do their damage, but you have to contain the damage, right? You have to make sure that they just don't go off for 8 points a game or something like that, right? You just have to let them get their one goal, their two goals, stuff like that. And then let the Blades' third line and fourth line, right? Because Vaughn Waterroot and Lucas Hansen and all these guys, like Fraser Minton, Igor Sidorov, they all get the attention. The third and fourth line for the Blades are the ones that have been doing all the hard work. And they're the ones that are going to be key in this series. Plus, no one's playing better than the Blades' defense right now. They're scoring goals. They're playing good in their own end. I don't think Moose Jaw is gonna have a fun time with the Blades defense. I don't think they've seen a D-core quite like the Blades D-core here. Nice. So yeah, they lit up against Swift Current, but they're gonna have a tough time against the Blades.
So now, with that in mind, how do you, as the Blades, go about trying to basically stop that? Like, do you let your checking line go?
Yeah.
Do you go old school and say line 3 versus line 1, or do you get your stars out there against them, try to just, go back and forth with that? Because that defense, like you say, is going to be there already, right?
I think that your whole game plan is you got to swallow up line 1. Yeah. Just make sure that their first line is doing nothing. So I think all game Brennan Sawney just has to do his best to get their first line up against their third line. Yeah. Vaughn Waterroot, Lucas Hansen, and it's been a mixture of Misha Volotoski, Kibble White, a couple of those. Tyler Parr broke his ankle. Yeah. So Tyler Parr is one of those guys who's he's an 18-year-old, 19-year-old guy, and he's just so solid on the third line. Losing him was huge. Because he's so good at remember Ben Wallace for the Detroit Pistons?
Yes, of course.
He's like the WHL Ben Wallace.
Love Ben Wallace.
This guy's defensive game is insane. Not having him in the lineup is going to hurt. I think Vaughn Waterroot will take the main brunt of hey, you're going to handle the first line, be a pest, be that Sean Avery jerk to play against out there, right? Yeah.
Old-time hockey,
float a
man.
couple
You
elbows
gotta
out
let
there,
him know
right?
you're there, yeah.
When the goalie covers it up, be a bit of a jerk in there. They're going to do the same thing. We need that too, right?
Hockey.
Another big thing is Easton Armstrong, our big 6'5" guy. He's suspended for the first 2 games of the series.
What happened there?
So he ran Red Deer's goalie, Saskatoon boy Chase Wutsky.
Yeah.
He missed the rest of the series. So a big reason why the Blades may have won that series or swept, they were going to win anyway, but they swept that series was because Saskatoon boy, former contact, Chase Wutsky, he was not in the lineup. Because Chase Armstrong, Chase Armstrong was expecting the D-man to cut in front of him, and then he would have that, but the D-man didn't do that, so he just ran literally full speed into the goalie.
So it wasn't on purpose.
Do that. It wasn't like one of those things where it's hey man, you can't do that, or hey, that's a horrible call. No, everyone agrees, that's a suspendable offense.
Yep. Okay.
Having him back for Game 3 will be a nice boost, but the Blades got to kind of. If the Blades split the first 2 games at home, I will be very happy.
Wow.
Easton Armstrong is just that big of an impact player at this level. You have a 6'5" forward who's 220 and throwing his weight around, and this guy can snipe. So you need him in your game plan, but the first 2 games, I think the Blades have enough talent to make up for that, but he's your first line left winger, so you're going to need him, right? Not having him for the first 2 games of the series, not a lot of people are talking about that right now. It's going to be a big loss for the Blades. But Moose Jaw's goalie is dumb. And I'm I'm sorry
Did you
for
say
saying that,
dump?
but he's not that good.
Does dump
He was
mean-
the first star of the first team All-Star of the Eastern Conference, but it's just because he played all the games. If you look at the Blades goaltending stats right now, the Blades 2 goaltenders are way better than this guy. Like, way better than this guy. We got 2 rookies of the year as our goaltenders, and you got this guy who's literally only there because his team scores like 7 goals a game.
Wow.
This Unger kid, if you just get pucks on net on this guy, as a goalie, you can just tell he's not the guy. We got the guy. We got Evan Gardner. We got the guy, Gary. Yeah. We got the guy in Evan Gardner who's calm, cool, and collected. Unger, you can just tell he's not the guy. And this is, I don't like being this guy that's going to give bulletin board material or whatever.
Say, yeah, you're going to get pinned. This show's going to be
not
playing in their
the guy.
locker room, man.
He's not the guy.
I think he's really good.
Well, again, he's really good, but against Igor Sidorov and Fraser Minton and Tanner Molendijk and all these future
You got
NHL guys,
that can
again,
play, yeah.
he's a good WHL goalie, but we have a lot of future NHL guys just like Moose Jaw does.
That's crazy.
And sure, he faces these NHL guys in practice, but I just feel like goaltending, the way that these first-line players are lining up against each other and this defense, it's all going to come down to goaltending like a lot of playoff series do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, man, Moose Jaw is going to have a big storyline with their goaltending problem. I'm calling it right now.
And you've been hot with the calls.
After game 2, it's going to be like, do we make a switch? I'm calling it right now. Moose Jaw might have some goaltending problems.
I just want to make sure we have this on the records. You're saying that Moose Jaw is going to think about pulling the best, again, using air quotes, goalie in the league by game 3.
Moose Jaw's goalie is not nearly as good as our 2 goalies. I'm grabbing the mic here to make sure that it comes through.
That's it?
Unger is not nearly as good as Elliott and Gardner. We have the 2 best goalies in this series.
Okay.
We have the 2 best goalies in this series. We get pucks on net. We get pucks on deep. We force those rebounds. They're not going to know what hit them. They have 1 defenseman and 1 defenseman only. We have a solid 6 solid defense. That's the thing. Moose Jaw has a sexy top 4.
So sexy.
We have a team.
Yeah.
It's awesome to have 4 good players. I'd rather have a full hockey team.
You and Les talked about that early on before the
It's
playoffs.
basically a bench warmer situation right now. We have a full team of players. That's actually not good because the bench warmers did win a lot.
They did win, man.
Cut it. Cut.
So good.
But that's like we basically have a situation where can the Blades' depth beat the Moose Jaw star power? That's what it's coming down to.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stick with what you know. You're wearing the hat. Huge shout out to the Rush, man. Bringing it together so close. If they would have won, would they have got in? If they would have
if they would have won, they would have gone in.
So everything
they
went their
had
way?
a 40% chance of getting into the playoffs before that happened, right? And they had like the graphic. You know how sometimes like, you have a 40% chance, 20% chance.
They break it all down.
Rochester, with a 3% chance to make the playoffs going into that week, made the playoffs.
Not the Nighthawks.
Everything just, and they're moving next year. Classic National Lacrosse League. The teams are moving all over the place, but they're moving next year, and they made it in the playoffs just by some like this team lost, this team lost, this team lost. We won. This team lost by this much or whatever, and they made it in for a tiebreaker. But the thing is, Mark Matthews scored the game-winning goal for the Rock.
He called it. He said it straight up. I'm gonna do this. He said, "What did he say? Nothing would feel better than."
Nothing would feel better than ending the Rush season. Now, the one thing is, when you were leaving SaskTel Center, there was no when the Rush lose, usually that whole place is like, right? I mean, when you have 3 years of being an absolute wagon, right?
Yeah,
like you're used to being the New England Patriots of the National Lacrosse League. All of a sudden, you're not. It's tough, right? It's tough for any fan base. But leaving that arena, everyone was like, that was a good season. And like finishing 9th, that's not a good case, right? But everyone was like, man, the team was so, like, we're in such a rebuild mode right now. We had our dynasty, we had our championships. We're in such a rebuild mode right now that the fact we were even in it by the last week of the season, a lot of Rush fans, I've called out Rush fans sometimes,
Yes,
they're
rightfully so.
They're only there when they win. Place was packed, not as packed as the old days, but place was still pretty packed and it was rowdy, and it was like the same old Rush, right? The thing is, they've developed such a good fan base that it doesn't matter, right? Like they've got such a good season ticket base and such like they're just such a good franchise now. They're almost like a flagship franchise in that league. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. And I think Rush fans are starting to tune into that. Like, hey, it's a long-term game.
Yeah.
It's not like the Hilltops where they're going to win every season, right?
Little bit
It's going to be,
spoiled.
hey, it's a pro team. They're going to have some low years. 2 years from now, I think they're going to be back to where they are, man. Like, again, they got the Ryan Keenans, they got the Robert Churches, right? But they get a young, good goalie in there. They get some defense. They're going to be just fine.
There you go. Go, Rush, go. I used to say that, like on the mic.
I know.
Go, Rush, go.
I loved you, man. I texted you all throughout that
did.
first
I got
game.
so much
I remember
support.
during halftime, I'm like, maybe I should stop texting this guy who's working.
This guy who has no idea what he's doing
Your
or
phone's
talking
just
about.
buzzing in the
Yeah.
pocket. I'm like, oh yeah.
And in my entire life, being around microphones and headsets, that was the most microphoned and headseted I've ever been.
Yeah.
Like, as you know, and Gregor kills it. Like, shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
It's so hard. You're talking to this guy, you're talking to this guy, we're talking to this guy, and you're listening to this, and you're trying to do this. It's too much. Like, to be able to process all that, it's so hard. So, shout out to all PA announcers, man. It's hard.
It's not an
work.
easy job, man.
No,
Doing the
it's
in-stand stuff,
very
doing
hard.
the PA announcer stuff. It's one of those jobs where people just kind of assume, oh yeah, you'll do it. You'll do a good job, and then go from there.
Real quick, whereabouts are you going next with all of your adventures? The donuts have been red hot. I know we just talked about
so
patios.
I don't know what to do, man. So Nutana Bakery, I just went there for the best
I saw
donuts.
that.
But man, I also went to Nestor's and I went to Golden Chief.
I know, you
I
just-
went to
you're
the
not losing it,
I went to
yeah.
the Golden Triangle of bakeries in Saskatoon.
Did you get lost?
See, if no, Christie's on 33rd is still around, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
I
the
drove by there.
but I know it is the Mayfair Bakery. I thought it closed down and then Christie's might have bought it. Maybe I'm vice versa or whatever. But man, I don't know how I'm gonna pick.
I told you. Don't pick. Everyone wins.
Nutana Bakery is so good. And like I like when you walk in there, there's not a lot of art, there's not a lot of bells and whistles. It says Nutana Bakery, and it's
Here's
all
some
just
food.
white, and that's it. And it's fantastic. And like I should have got some samosas or something like that because they do that there. But man, Nestor's on Nestor's is also good, but Golden Sheep on Central too, man. Not a lot of places know about that. I still have like 10 more bakeries to go to too. Why do I do this to myself? I don't understand.
I can tell you why. Because you care and you're trying to help these places.
I just like showcasing the local places, right?
That's what I mean.
Like again, the three.
We appreciate that.
The three holes. I just want people to know, hey, the new hose is kind of open, right? Whatever.
That's
hey,
it.
Go from
That's
there.
what we do,
Yeah.
man. That's what we're all about. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Croker. You'll see him on all the social medias and all the sporting events and everywhere else because that's what he does because he cares. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. We're going to run a transition video here and then we got another guest. Clap and clap. Yeah.
Unless you've been living under a rock, then you would already know that I am Davey Disaster, two-time Wild Rose Sports Association Cruiserweight Champion, and you are about to witness your show with Gary Nickel right here on the Dufferin Avenue Media Network. Welcome to your nightmare.
He's back. Coach Mazer in the house. After taking off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to go, and I didn't even know where you went, you were in the home of the Oilers, the home of a team that just put a whooping on the Kings. And the only thing I felt bad about with that whooping was the fact the Kings were wearing my favorite jerseys of all time. I felt a little bit bad seeing them losing those, but as an Oiler fan, it was okay. I love those jerseys.
Yeah, you gotta like jerseys. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters when it comes down to it who's winning. You shouldn't have feelings for jerseys.
I don't know. I just have a special connection to that Gretzky, the black and gray, man. It's the coolest thing.
nice.
It was so cool because it transcended, right? Like all of a sudden, guys in NWA are wearing this jersey, and all these like hardcore dudes are like, "Look at what we're sporting." I'm like, "Yeah," even though it was all about Gretzky for me.
It was the LA Raiders colors. They
Yeah.
kind of tapped into that,
Well, of course,
that image.
and a hell of a lot better than those purple and yellow ones, the purple mustards.
That was very true. No
But
way,
those
I
were
like
great too.
those.
They were fun. They have their own
They're-
special
they're
place.
good.
Yeah, so bad they're good.
They look-
So what the hell were you doing in Edmonton?
Why? More hockey, more coaching.
And how did it go?
Went okay.
Dude, I'm going to spoil. He already showed me. Bronze medal at the West Edmonton Mall. How cool. What? Tell me how you end up playing on that majestic ice where we used to go watch Curry and Gretz practice back in the day.
Right. So this group, the All Star Invitational. It's I forget what the group is called, but they essentially the brick tournament's always been played there.
That's
right?
the big
and that's
one,
the big
yeah.
one that's coming up. And then they have, for all levels of play, they've added a tournament for all age groups, and they put on a big show. They have a little at the rec room. Do you know what a rec room is?
I do. I've been there, and they are so fun. It's just a giant arcade slash
like-
bar.
Yeah, what
the
would
best.
Be, it's like Wilson's.
No, Chuck E. Cheese. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese is directly across from the rec room in Edmonton, which is hilarious. It's just like
Do they get any business?
Chuck E. Cheese, probably not.
That's what I mean. It's like you have the way better version of what you're doing right across the street.
So we were in the one in the mall,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a big to do for the kids. And I, like you, don't love crowds, so we're there and a bunch of screaming kids. And I was like, I guess this is okay, whatever.
For the kids, that's what you got to remember. Not about us.
And then the tournament started, and we were a little bit disappointed because we got one less game at the mall than other ones.
Oh, boo.
But-
Where else were you playing?
Terwilliger and Collingwood. So Edmonton has unreal facilities
This is what I hear.
throughout the city.
The city, yeah.
And so it's never a lose situation. There's always like a library with 4 arenas or
That's cool.
water slide and
Come on.
aquatic center with the pools, or all 3 maybe. And then some facilities have an indoor gym, like a soccer pitch, and then attached to that is like badminton center.
Pickleball?
Like, just
Tell me there's
huge-
pickleball.
There's pickleball indoor. They got it figured out. So Saskatoon's lagging behind, or we have less oil money. We need to figure out how to make something valuable out of swamp water,
Juice.
Swamp juice.
Yeah.
If that can.
I'm sure there's a way we could turn that into some sort of like a superfood, because
Yeah.
all these superfoods come out of nowhere and everyone just takes them. So we can be like, actually, swamp juice takes all the asphalt and the oil, filters it through the ground, comes back up as swamp juice, and we can use that to power your microbiomes inside of all your L. salivarius bacteria inside of your mouth, all the way down to your gut, connecting to the brain, get some Norelli going, and off you go.
I'm sold. I would buy that.
Me too.
Let's start selling swamp juice.
Time to start balling the swamp juice. You see the
so-
catchy name though.
So we're there. So it's very nice. The guy
Yes.
that put it on does a big show, and they're really good at what they do. Our group only had 4 teams in it, so we finished 3rd out of 4 teams. We were 2nd after the round robin, so it was just 4 teams played each other,
Okay.
and it was an exciting finish. So that game was super exciting. It's
Breakaway goal to win, man.
a little bit disappointing. We played Ladislav Smeeds.
That's so cool. Did you get to
Team
see
in
him?
round
Like,
robin?
were
Yeah,
you
he was
shake
the
his hand and
coach,
all
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make any comments about his career in the NHL?
No, I didn't do that.
Well, not rudely. Like, I mean, sorry, I worded that wrong. Did you ask him about like any stories from his days in the show?
No, he's focused on being a coach and stuff like that. And we had a really rough game against them, and we had a little chat and after the game, and then found common ground, and we beat them 5-2, which is awesome. But then that team, they finished 4th, but they ended up going on and winning the tournament. So it's kind of sad for us.
Maybe they lost on purpose to get the easier road.
They might have avoided us.
Smeeds,
Yeah.
he was always a smart D man.
He might be smart like
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty crazy.
But yeah, no, that was a big to do for the
love that.
Lou guy.
Did you see, shout out to Louis, by the way, with the big celly after the win? He said he was the only guy that fell,
He fell.
running
Tried
into
to
the dog
jump over
pile.
The boards, and someone kind of pushed him, and he fell on his butt.
I love Louis.
He had a sick goal, though. He had a sick deflection goal, and the
You know, that's all I'm about,
Collingwood,
just
so-
working out front, man. I'm the garbage man. I can't get back on defense, so I just park myself out front. So anytime you can get those tip goals and those like a tip wouldn't be a garbage goal. Anytime it's a fancy garbage goal. So shout out
It
to
was
him
a
for being
good,
the big body out front.
yeah, Logan Engdahl, Brennan's.
Yes, of course.
Brennan's
Shout out to
kid.
Brennan. Shout out to all the Engdahls. I love those dudes.
Yeah, Logan did a huge clap bomb from the point, and Louis was honest where he's like, I don't know if I really moved, Dad. It kind of just hit my stick and went in. But
But did you tell him that that's the whole point, that you were in the right position for it to hit
in
your
the right
stick?
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
that's half the battle right there. So now the most important question that I know every single person watching wants me to ask. Did you stay in the theme room of the
No.
fantasy? Any theme? No car, no monster truck, no like
we
Greek
didn't
gods,
stay there.
nothing?
No, we stayed at the River Cree Resort
Casino?
and Casino,
Oh boy, that's dangerous.
and it was.
I can imagine the
Very
parent
nice
parties.
place,
The
and
parent
it-
parties at that place would have been wild.
Yeah, we had some interesting times, but they were really nice people there, and there's a lot going on at the casino. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy. I got to get back to those theme rooms. I hear they like renovated them. They're super sweet again.
Yeah, and I think they charge lots too.
Well, of course, well, everyone does.
Yeah.
It's a West End. Did you hit up the water park?
We did. So that's what's cool about this tournament. So they booked the water park just for everyone in the tournament. So there's about 20 teams.
Heaven.
And different levels, different age groups, from like 2016 born kids to maybe 2013, I'd say.
Okay.
And then different levels within those age brackets. And so there's roughly 22 teams. And the kids and family and whatever.
So did you hit up the funnel slide?
No, you saw me. I was a wreck. I've been sick the
Yeah.
whole time.
Well,
So no, I just sat in the corner, just parenting, chilling. And
No fun
everyone
for
else.
coach. Yeah, that sucks. They
Zero.
have so many good water slides there, man. I love that place.
Yeah, the toilet bowl one. I've
That's
always
the one I'm
wanted to do.
talking about.
Yeah.
Like ever since Fubar, I always joke with my older brother Davey, I want to go get some like Daisy Dukes cut off shorts and go down there like Diener did. He's like, woo, and he goes down and it's woo, 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 and then it drops you out the bottom. Very funny stuff. One of my favorite clips of that movie, Fubar. Shout out. I believe that's Fubar too, actually.
There would definitely be two.
Yeah, so good. So West Edmonton Mall is still awesome, is what we learned. Maybe they'll advertise with us.
That'd be sweet. Yeah, they have lots going on. There's still the Fantasyland. What is that?
It's like a theme park, yeah.
It's like the after. They still have seals in there. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
How do you
zoos.
feel about imprisoning seals in a mall?
My biggest issue is I always need to know. It's not like I sort of need to know. I have to know, were these seals rescued? Is there a reason they're there? Did you just go out, pick them up, throw them in, and they're super depressed? That's not good with me.
Yeah.
But if they were like hurting and they can only survive in these places, like that's why I'm all about aquariums that bring in the ones in the zoos that are like recovery places for animals. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate because I
Yeah,
don't know.
we never would.
But I have a feeling they were maybe born in captivity.
So they don't know
which
any
is
better.
So they don't know any better. But also, it's almost like a farm in a sense too. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
also I don't love that.
This is feeling like we're riding a line
we
right
don't
now.
know. We
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
let's
But
move
maybe
on.
it's
Yeah.
a rescue. Maybe it's all comes from a good thing.
Yeah, I like to stay positive with it like that. So,
That the mall is warm, so it's a
Hot.
hard thing to play. So they just play 3 15-minute straight time periods, no matter what. Like
what's the ice like?
very sticky and very wet.
So like Sastel Center on a hot day?
No. Sestel Center is way better. It would be
Well, I know
like-
it's the best ice. I'm just
it'd
thinking
be
like flamingo wise.
A natural ice in spring. Like the last day, it's
Okay.
like we should shut the plant
Yeah.
down. We shouldn't be playing anymore.
I gotcha.
And you're skating through a little bit of a puddle.
It's just-
it's good in the morning, good at night, but once those skylights, the sun starts hitting in there.
Such
it
a
starts to
beautiful
melt.
mall, man. And it's
But
so
it's
cool to
super
be
fun.
walking by and seeing guys playing hockey
So
and seeing
cool.
stuff just in the middle of your mall walk.
I think for the kids though, the mistake that we made, they're so young with these ones, so they have no history, so they don't know how cool it is.
Yeah.
When they got there. So some kids that are in Edmonton, they're at the mall and they see all these kids playing, they were jacked up to
Yeah.
be playing on the ice. Our kids were like, I don't get this.
What is happening? Why is there a rink in the middle of the
why
mall?
are there 400 people
Yeah,
watching
watching.
us while I'm trying to
To
make
do my
a
thing.
D pass,
Yeah.
but that girl's kind of cute.
Preps you for the pressures, right?
It does, yeah, no, it's
That's
cool.
a good thing too.
Yeah.
Do you have any cool, like growing up Fantasyland or West Ed stories that you'd like to share? Anything
cool
fun
ones?
that, like, did you get to go there lots when you were a kid?
Yeah, we went there a little bit with Jay Mays and I.
Yeah.
It would be funny how it would be every other year, or every 3 years we'd go there,
Yeah.
and just so your interest changed over time. So it was like I watched my kids, just like me. It was like all wave pool was Louis, like
Yeah.
9-year-old Louis was like, yeah, slides are okay. So I was like that too.
Yeah.
And then I remember being then 13 with my older boy. He's wave pool.
Yeah.
But then he's like, yeah, let's hit up these slides. as
I want to
well.
tackle those slides. They're
Every
intimidating,
time
man.
We went through there growing up. Jay Mays and I our interest would be like, okay, let's now go down the Screamer.
Did
and
they have the loop-de-loop? Was that one working?
the one where you go down and then
Yeah, like you
I've
stand in a
never been
box
on
and then they just drop the bottom out of you and you just go, woo!
yeah, that one was.
It's
on
never
there.
been working when I've been there.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if you go woo.
Well, okay, sorry, it'd be like, like
Yeah.
excavation,
No, I think you just go
Gary,
like this,
right
just-
there. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that one scares the hell out of me.
I would like to see that recorded. You
No.
doing that saying
Oh,
woo
no.
before you.
The only way I will is if West Edmonton Mall signs on to advertise with us because we support all of our advertisers, including you. You want to be a part of it, dufferinave.com. Hit us up. All the links are there. I will do it if they sign on. and I might die.
Yeah.
So
well, we should send them a message.
okay, we'll reach out. The reason I brought up stories over the years is one year, Johnny Snore, the great Johnny Factoid, and I were in Edmonton for a No Effects concert.
Nice.
And we went to the mall. And we nonchalantly came across a bunch of people riding Segways. Like the actual stand on them and you go and Segway.
Like in the mall?
In the mall. So there was an obstacle course. So we went up and we were all liquored up. It was wild. Like, hey, what's going on here? Like, well, we're just training everyone on Segway. So Johnny and I, like, let's do it. So we hop on and we crush the course. Like, this is awesome. And we ended up getting an actual Segway license. So I had an official Segway license that allowed me to ride around. Every morning they have an hour dedicated to Segway riders around the whole mall. So you can go in, show your license, and then off you go and you just Segway around the entire West Ed Mall. That's one of my favorite memories because I would always show that off at parties. Anytime the Segways came up, like, oh, sorry, just want to show you this real quick. Instant street cred.
Segways are interesting. There's also, and then there's, what are the other ones they're doing in
Oh, hoverboards.
Scooters too.
Oh,
They're doing
those,
little scoots.
Yeah.
Scoots. Yeah, funny story. At a work thing in Arizona, these guys got liquored up and they thought it'd be really funny to
So dangerous.
scoot somewhere, and a guy went face over heels.
Like
and
bad.
just bad, scraped his face, and then
Conky.
got up. He's like, okay, but he still has to get the scooter back to where he rented it from, and then wiped out again. So he had like scrapes this way. I've never seen it, but I get on the bus. We're leaving, going to the airport the next morning. I sit beside, and I was just like,
What happened to
"Holy shit,
you?
What happened to you?"
Yeah.
And just like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Then I found out that
Highly
he
embarrassed.
made a bunch of drunk mistakes
Yeah.
at work.
And that's why we don't
Very
drink
stupid.
anymore.
That's why we
'cause,
don't.
Yeah, it's
you
too
don't
much
drink
sometimes.
on work retreats because you
Yeah.
make terrible.
Yeah, never drink around your bosses. Oh man, that's a story for another time. NHL playoffs are going on right now. We touched on the Oilers' victory last night. We do have our playoff pool going. I was so excited because I finally got signed up for a
I think
draft.
you're in, and if not, I think we can add you because it's just an open pool. You just add to the groups that you want to do. So we'll get you in there. I
I
don't
like
see
that.
you in there though.
I was so close. And the ironic part of the whole thing is the team name, I believe, was I can't believe I did it. I'm finally in. And I'm still not in.
Yeah, I don't know if you're in.
How?
pretty
I
fun.
got a confirmation email that I showed you. And you're like, that's still not good enough.
I feel bad because so we've made the Masters pool.
Yes, very fun, by the way. Hey, we got to get our champ in here soon. If he
Yeah,
ever
I
gets
don't-
back to
he's,
you.
He's not responding. No, he responded. It was supposed to be this week, but we haven't connected yet this
Okay,
week to try
then
and
we'll
get
get
him on
him.
the show. And I need to get his prize pack too. We haven't
Yes,
put that
well,
all
we'll do
together. Then we made the NHL bracket challenge. I
Yes.
feel bad for the NBA. I feel we slighted them. I tried to get one going, and we didn't. So I think I'm failing on my.
No, you never fail at anything, dude. You are one of the most busiest human beings I've ever
Too much
known. You have
going
way too much going all the time. So the fact you can do anything, like give us a little bit of time like this,
Yep.
means the world. So don't ever feel bad about an
We
NBA
have
draft.
more entrants in the.
Yeah, we're
NHL
growing.
bracket.
We're growing.
We're growing.
Yeah.
But we also missed NBA. I feel bad.
I think there's a
Though,
lot more
hot
hockey
take,
fans.
I think it's Denver, Boston, and that's not a hot take because those are the two favorite teams.
I was-
I don't think I was looking at it. Just like I don't see how anyone else wins, and I want the Lakers to win for our ultimate pool.
Yeah.
we have Lakers and we have Orlando.
I forget. Shout out to the
it's
Fat
like
Tito, by the way.
Orlando can maybe take down Cleveland. That'd be dope. Lakers aren't. They don't have a chance against them.
I'm pretty sure both of our teams are out already. We had to talk, like we're fighting like the Sterno and
What were your teams?
Gary.
Do you remember? If you don't remember,
No, all I keep hearing from Stevie and Vern is we're just trying to dodge that -10. That's
No, you
all
know,
we're
it's-
doing.
The new thing this year is
Uh-oh.
dodge the finishing last in the whole pool, which is what
yeah.
we're sitting in. Because then you got to
Thank
buy
goodness.
everybody food.
Yeah, the big party. I love how that's evolving.
I don't like it.
All the love to all of our friends in the Fat Tito. Rapco, I miss you. We got to get him in here soon for some
We got to
updates.
record one of those
Yeah.
events
That'll be fun too.
and sign a bunch of waivers.
So looking at the hockey, it's very, very important. That crowd can get a little wild sometimes. Looking at the hockey, what are you seeing so far? I heard Demko's out. Is Vancouver in trouble now?
I think they were always in trouble.
Hot take. I wish we had a hot take bell.
I
Ding,
think
ding,
they're.
ding,
I
ding,
think
hot
they'll
take.
I just don't see them. Though, okay, so we have Colorado, Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's a hell of a
That's a
series.
hell of a
That was
series.
one of the
they're gonna beat
funnest
the crap out
playoff
of
games
them.
I've ever watched in my life the other night. So
We
good.
got Vegas, Dallas, right?
Vegas up 1-0.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, in Vegas, in case you don't know, Vegas is so smart that they are beating the system to the point where they're doing it in front of everyone's eyes. Everyone's ripping on them. They're like, yeah, it sucks for you guys. Say that you're not doing what we're doing. They just hide guys on the injured
should
list
get-
until the playoffs. It's great. I love
We
it.
should get Kelly Rio knows a few Vegas guys in here. He could share some insight
Yeah.
on that, or maybe get Blair Jonesy. He's pals with those guys.
Judge. Love the judge. Yeah, we got NHL guys we could talk to. That's a
Yeah,
good point.
we should get those guys in.
We'll get a panel. We could get a panel.
Kelly's officially an NHL guy.
Yeah.
eh?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's an NHL guy.
That's it.
That's cool. I'm proud. But
Always.
we need to get him in here. He's got some insight. Blair's shared some insight. So Stone legitimately has health issues.
Yes.
But he's willing to play through those health issues in the playoffs.
Yes.
If you look at how many games he plays a year, it's like 32 to 60, and he's tapped out. He's like,
Too
I'm
much.
good. That's too much.
Workload.
Like, he should
Workload
go-
management.
He should go play in Europe. But instead, he's playing here. They shut him down, rest up, and I was like, okay, now bring it for the playoffs. Play through your injuries.
Yeah.
And go. So I don't like. They are circumventing.
If
the
people
situation,
don't like
but-
it, don't allow it. Make it illegal. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. The great Drew Mendes says that all the time.
It's beautiful that he
Use
scored
the system.
first goal
Yeah.
to just light that
Stick it to him.
conversation.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got Vegas and Dallas,
Yep.
right, and then we got Vancouver and Nashville.
Man.
So I don't see if whoever wins out of Vancouver and Nashville, I don't see them beating any of those other
They're
teams.
those ones. Yeah. The West
Any
is
of them.
crazy.
So I just don't see it. And Vancouver was the team to beat, but I just don't believe it. I don't see it.
Is there a huge divide between the West and the East, or as I like to call them, the Clarence Campbell and the Prince of Wales conferences?
I think the West is stronger,
Okay.
but what do you mean a divide?
Just like because you talk about how whoever wins between Vancouver and Nashville doesn't matter because they're going to get whooped.
Right.
Is that more or less thought of with the East? Prince of
Are there
Wales,
any teams? Yeah, then again, I don't know. There's Carolina, there's Florida.
Boston.
Toronto or Boston are going to go the distance. So
Everyone wants to know what's going on in that series. Is Toronto back? They're acting like they just won the World Series and the
Yeah,
Stanley
they
Cup and the Super Bowl after one win. Yeah.
And no Nylander, so that's a weird situation. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on with that.
Very weird.
Yeah, I don't know. The East is more difficult for me too, right? You got
That's
the
why I'm
Rangers.
asking. It's
Yeah, I
a
don't-
crazy. The Rangers were so good too. Didn't they win the whole Presidents El
Yeah.
Presidente or some
Yeah,
stuff?
they're the champs.
Champs of the
They get a
nothing.
banner no matter what. They got
Sweet.
a banner.
Ask Boston how that goes. I believe they did that last year. It worked really well for them.
Yeah. I got a thing though,
'Kay.
because I've been watching the shows. Because I was gone, I've missed a few things, and I'm going to be putting you on the spot.
I love it. I
And you're
love
not
being on the
gonna
spot.
like it.
Okay, even better. I'm
Because
really
I
excited
feel
for
that
this.
this show has become a very religious show.
Religious.
Yes.
We do have two rules: no politics, no religion. So be
But
careful.
I'm walking a fine line here, and I'm sorry for just
That's
diverting,
fine.
but it's on my brain.
Here, do you want
I'm
a
just
card
telling
to keep your hands busy?
you. All right. Am I moving too much?
No. I like it, but it's something that'll slow you
So
down.
here's the thing, you're creating a vibe here. You have
We, not you. We.
we
Thank you.
on your show.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's where the you comes in.
Mm-hmm.
This is more distracting than anything. You should not try this blank one.
It's not quite blank.
All right.
That was yesterday's show.
Still reading it, can't help.
That's okay.
I'm a dad, so if you hand me something, I'm gonna read it.
It's like a Ron Burgundy over here.
So, anyways,
San Diego.
you're using words like karma, which is like the
Yes.
biggest religious word.
Universal
world.
universal callings, yes. Becoming one with my metachlorians. Listening, allowing the
Hindus
universe to
use-
flow in and out. Yes.
The word karma
Mm-hmm.
as a very religious. Do unto others as
As
you
you-
would, as they would
to
do
be done
unto
to
you,
you, yeah.
or as you would hope they would do unto you. Because if you
Yes.
do unto others as they do unto you, and then you pick a couple, if some people are being mean, then
It's way easier to say treat others the way you want to be treated.
Right, which is
That's
a
it.
great
So simple.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's in all religions. So I just feel that this could be an outlet for people to feel good. And that kind of, there's some lines that are interweaving. So you're saying it's not a religious show, but it still makes people feel good.
Yeah.
That's what religion should do. And you're using some religious terms
Yeah.
sometimes. So I don't mean to call you out. I just
No, it's
I
not
was
being
showing
called
it
out
just
because if I'm being called out for taking all of the good things from stuff we're not supposed to talk about, I'm okay with that. As long as we all understand the whole point of this is for all of us to come together and stop people from caring about themselves more than they care about others. That's it. Time to bring back the I care about you more than myself, because it's a wheel. And if everyone cares about you more than themselves, then all of a sudden everyone's caring about each other. That's the whole process.
And coming to you soon is your church. And what we're trying to do here is
I'm not going to stop him. Watch him go. I'm not going to stop him. Go ahead. That would have been
No,
great.
that's fine. I was going to go off
Yep.
on how you're going to be a pastor and lead a new church
No.
and new religion.
There's
called
too
your
many.
religion.
That is way too good. I can't even be mad.
Your religion with Gary Nickel.
It's not happening. But
Send your donations to
you know, okay.
Dufferin.
No. Back to hockey. Was that just a tangent? I thought this was going somewhere involving
There was
our
nothing
conversation. Okay.
there, probably.
So in the East, what are the Rangers going to do? I believe we have the Rangers. We have the Rangers.
What do you
We had the Rangers and the Devils. That's who we had for the Fat Tito.
So the Devils.
Sterno
were-
and Gary.
Devils
Bad.
were a reactionary pick to last year's Devils team.
I can't
and
believe they just
fell off the
flopped.
cliff.
Yeah, that was
that just
bad.
happens. It has to happen
Yeah.
to a team.
Every
Someone
year.
has to.
Yeah.
Someone
The
has to
Islanders.
go
Hey,
back.
sorry to J Mays, those Islanders.
Yikes! Yeah, so they're in
Yikes.
tough with Carolina, so they have no hope.
After that, man,
Let's
up
run down
3-0.
again. So it's Carolina Islanders.
Yep.
Carolina wins.
Yep.
Florida and
Those other jabronis.
yeah, we should be looking at this.
That's okay.
As we go. But
It's
Florida's
kind
going
of
to
right
win.
here. We just pulled it up. Florida is taking on Washington.
Right.
Ovi.
So Florida's winning.
Yeah.
And then we have Boston and Toronto. That's a tough one. That's a game. That's a 6 or 7 game series. Mm-hmm. And what's the other one?
They're going all over the place right
Yeah,
now.
what is that? What's the other one?
I don't know. Maybe if I click on it. Either way,
I can look. But
I'll just type in NHL.
this is bad TV.
No, this is good TV because it's real, right? That's what I'm talking about. Every single person in the world is out there trying to make everything perfect. Every single thing perfect to the point where if someone doesn't make sure everything is perfect, you stand out.
Oh, we
and it's
forgot about
better.
the Lightning. We're dumb. So Panthers over the Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
That's could be a series, but it's not going to be. Panthers are going to beat the Lightning.
The Rangers are playing the
Hurricanes are
Capitals.
beating the Islanders.
Yeah.
The Rangers are beating the Capitals. So that's
There you go.
Yeah, so it's not the same. There's going to be some longer series in the West, so it's going to be tougher to get out of the West. So yeah,
More
this team
games
could
equals
win
less
the
fresh.
Stanley Cup. That's fine. Toronto and Boston is going to be an interesting series, but yeah, there's just no way Vancouver's going to beat Colorado, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vegas, or Dallas.
Sorry, Canucks fans. You're done.
You guys will not be moving on past round 2.
That sucks.
But enjoy round 1. Be excited. Climb statues and hang white flags on statues and
So ridiculous.
burn your own city down. Maybe the dumbest people of all time. Do we have any followers in Vancouver?
About Cato?
Okay, no. Kato's a smart guy. There's some smart people in there. You guys are mixed up, though. You guys are stupid. Don't damage things. Don't get so out of.
That's what he's talking about when he says you're stupid. Yeah, it's one win. Don't riot.
Yeah,
Let's
don't
cool it on the
riot.
rioting.
You're like you
Bring it
won
down. Bring it down. You won one game.
a game. You know what is another thing on NHL that's beautiful and sad, but like a stark reality on how difficult it is to make it to the Stanley Cup final. So Adam Henrique scored
Yeah.
yesterday.
What a
First
shot.
goal since 2012. His first playoff goal since 2012.
He put it right where Grandma keeps the cookies, blocker side upstairs.
He was a rookie. Went on the run with Brodeur, Kolchak,
Yeah, the Jersey days.
crew. They lose to the Kings in the final that year, I believe. That's right.
That sounds close enough. I don't think anyone's going to check us.
So you think as a rookie, you're like, this is how it is. You just go to
I'm going
the
to be here every year. We hear that all the time with those
I got
guys.
some goals, finished top and plus minus for that season. And
Hell
then
of a
nothing.
player.
Then he skirts around with the Ducks, and now he's here with the Oilers and making another push. But that's a beautiful thing. Like, he's got to appreciate that more. That's some great experience.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But it's crazy. He has zero experience except for being a rookie. Yet that's the experience you also want. You want that desire and the want. The guy that's still in the league pushing for it.
Guys talk about that all the time. Be it any sport. When you make it to the finals, especially if you win, instantly you think, well, that was easy. We'll just do that every year because we're so awesome. And then one little thing changes and you never get it back.
You never
get back there. So I guess embrace it while you're there, like you said.
Embrace
Take it all
I'm
in.
cheering for him now.
That's cool.
I just put another little parlay on the Oilers Jays.
Oh, I love these, like the Denver you did. Oilers, Jays to win it all.
To win or show. It's the dumbest bets ever.
That's
Because
that's all I do.
You don't win those ones. So
Well, that's why we do them, though, because you can only spend like $4 or $5.
Yeah,
So you put it a
4 or
tiny
5
little
bucks and
bit.
then
It's
you win
budget
1,000,
gambling.
so
That's
that's
what we do,
cool.
yeah. And then you just have something to cheer for.
yeah, we're not like Davey Portnoy, who's putting $1 million on the Oilers. He put
He's the drummer, right?
$250,000.
Dave Portnoy?
No, he eats pizza.
I
Yeah,
eat,
you're
I
not a
eat
social
pizza.
media
I eat
guy.
pizza.
You eat
Am I Dave Portnoy's?
No, and he also owns
Who's the
Barstool.
Portnoy drummer? We've had this talk before. Jeez, I'm out of it. There's
Portnoy.
a Portnoy musician.
Oh yeah, Portnoy, the drummer.
Yeah, sick drummer. Anyways, that's what I thought we were
Yeah, we
talking
should
about.
pull him up. Can we play music on here?
Not legally. We have to talk to our drummer lawyer to see.
Is that why you
one of these things.
sang the song the show we did together, that you were kind of out of tune, or is that just?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
totally.
did that on
Because I'm
purpose.
never out of tune. It's only on purpose if I'm ever out of tune, because my voice is like right there with Screech and Urkel. Beautiful. Sometimes I get
good.
Stefan Urkel in there, and it's really good. Can you do a Screech voice?
Screech?
Yeah.
No,
Shout out to the Bayside Tigers.
I can't do Screech.
What about a Zach Morris? Can you look at the camera and say, "This was the point where Ryan got angry"?
No, I can't, and I don't think I know that show as well as you do. I don't think I was.
Saved by the Bell?
I wasn't a Saved by the Bell guy. What was I doing? So what year was that?
What are we even doing here? Like,
There's a lot
our
of
entire
shows.
childhood. Sorry, March. Saved by the like, do you remember the song? My teacher
He's-
pops a test, and
Yeah,
no
I
one
get it.
never rests, and I'll get on my homework last night.
Yeah, I wasn't
sing
gonna
the
say
whole
the
thing. That's
Saved
weird.
by the Bell, but what guy?
Zach
would I
Morris
been?
was my hero. You would have been AC Slater for sure.
No, but what year? Like, what would I
Oh.
have been watching instead?
It would have been like the 90s. You were probably watching sports already.
Yeah, it's probably
All the
watching
time.
Sports.
I think Bayside High was the last sort of school show that I got into before I was like, okay, now I'm watching
Head of the
ESPN News all the
Class.
time. There you go.
Do you remember Head of the
Yeah.
Class? I watched that school show, which
That's
is
pretty good.
pretty much the same.
I think Degrassi. Degrassi was a very heavy school show. Tessa
All the way with
Campanelli.
Stephanie K.
Yeah.
Remember that one
There they go.
where you were effing, where they said the F word? That was
Yeah,
my
it
thing.
broke-
I was watching with my brother and my
every
parents.
rule, man.
My mom was in the kitchen making some cookies.
Of
I
course.
believe.
What kind, do you
And
remember?
My dad was doing something. He just sat down, and you were effing.
You have to remember, it was really jarring coming from this
Yeah.
show that was targeted towards
CBC.
teenagers on CBC.
Speaking of which, who's the guy on the show on Friday?
The guy on the show on Friday.
Tons of energy.
Brando?
No, well, Brando's awesome, but the video game guy. And who does he, CTV or
Oh, Matt Young. Yeah, of course, Matt Young. Yeah. Hit him up at Matt Young CTV. He's actually currently working on modding some stuff for the Gary and Brando Get Good at Games Extravaganza show we're going to debut.
I didn't mean to rewind the clock to that, but I want to be on the show sometime.
Oh, it's gonna
and
be
I want to
awesome.
play Arkanoid because I used to be decent at Arkanoid.
Did you have the
and I
controller?
it.
Do you have
I have
the?
it.
Did you have the wheel controller or
No.
just
Shout
Nintendo?
out to Abbott's and Costello's, old ice cream shops, two brothers that had a west side ice cream shop and an east side ice cream shop. They
I
call it
love
Abbott's
this.
and they call it Costello's. And they had all video games in there, and they had Arkanoid with the little dial.
Yeah.
And they were crushed it on the sorbet front. I would go in there for a lemon sorbet with real chunks of lemon rinds in there, and then play Arkanoid, and it was awesome. And then they shut down, and we went to the west side, to the brother's place, and he didn't have lemon that day we went there, or Arkanoid. It was sad. He had other games, though.
Well, Arkanoid, I will have you know, our constructor, shout out to Deneb, not just an incredible galaxy, but also incredible carpentry finishing company that built this entire set. We just had a world record run on NES Open with him last night. Shot a 27 under.
But it didn't
we
count 'cause you
also
didn't record it?
Exactly. And he, I believe, holds world records in both Arkanoid and Arkanoid 2.
Frig.
And he has the analog, like the wheel controller as well.
So me only. Well, that's cheating.
Having the real controller,
Yeah.
you're supposed to have it. He also had the stand-up cabinet. Like, it's crazy, the stuff this guy's got. Point
I
is,
love
he's
it.
breaking records, and we're chasing all of them on the Twitch channel once we get it up and running, which will be very
Yeah.
soon.
So I just had the controller.
I'm just happy you said Arkanoid, because it's such a great game that gets no love. Did you ever play Arkanoid 2 when you actually get the power-ups and you can, like, shoot? And it does a bunch of different stuff? Oh, it's really
It's
fun.
original. I didn't.
Also very
Yeah, I
good.
didn't. I'm not as big into the video games as you guys are. But
Not yet.
Baseball Stars.
Yes, I got
I'm
inside,
Arkanoid. Contra.
obviously.
Life Force.
Big Boy also holds a world record in Life Force.
That guy's nuts.
It's crazy.
Super Mario 1. That might be it. That might be my choice.
We're gonna expand it a little bit more. I got 9 different baseball games for the NES in my house right now.
So I found a site or a website where you could play a bunch of other ones. So that I know there's a ton. There's a Japanese all-girls league
Yes.
version of Baseball Stars, which is amazing.
So
which
good.
would be fun to play.
Yeah.
But Dusty Diamond's very Baseball Stars-esque, but softball.
Yeah, it's incredible, and that's the world record that we also broke the other night, which is super
That
exciting.
doesn't count because you didn't
Nope,
record.
that's true.
So it didn't happen.
Also, Little League World Series. You ever play that one?
No.
Very Baseball Stars like. It's an amazing game. It's self-explanatory. It's baseball, but Little League World Series. And then there's the Bases Loaded franchise. We have Bases Loaded 3, I believe, starring Ryan Sandberg. He's on the cover, which is really
Oh, yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So there's a bunch of baseball options out there that are so good. Anything else before we close this off? Because I know we could talk for days.
I just discovered that the Darcy Tucker comment I made, and then do you remember
The eyes.
that Masters kid, the junior Masters,
Neil Shipley.
Shipley, and he would go like this, and he'd make a comment, and then
Make sure, yeah.
he's like, "What do I look like on TV?" kind
This
of thing.
is too much.
So what I'm learning from you is when you're talking, you talk to the camera, and when
Yes.
you're listening, you listen to the person
you.
talking. Where I do it backwards, you're talking, and I look at you.
That's
No, wait,
okay.
that's
I don't
all
think there's
No,
rules.
wait. You talk, and then I sometimes will look at the camera, and I
It's
don't
nice
say
just to
anything.
check in. Say, hey, how you doing over there? You look good. You look beautiful today. Oh,
then-
sorry. Did I get distracted?
looking
And I go
at
back to you.
myself.
And now you're Kyle Tucker. Yeah, everyone always looks up at the big screen behind it. So that's
Anyway,
something we got to
your
work
show.
on. It's your show.
I'm on it.
This
I
is
gotta
a
go.
great example of how your show works. Ryan Mazie, a.k.a. Coach Maze, thank you so much for stopping by. We always clap people out of here. And now you don't have any more trips coming up for a while, do you?
So here's the thing. I'm also an equipment manager for a baseball association. There's a lot going on, a big push to get that done. Also
Can we help out in any
coaching
way with-
to
can we
hockey
help out?
teams, and I'm assistant coaching 2 baseball teams. So there's it's a big push right now. Nothing coming up until for Jacoby's baseball team at the end of next month. We go to Sherwood Park
That's going to be
ball
fun.
tournament, and then a month later we go to Calgary.
Okay, so we're going to have a good run with Coach Mazer here.
And I'll
right
be
away.
here.
And we got Rhinos kicking off right away, too, hey? Shout out to the SMBL.
Yeah, zero time for that.
I know you don't, but I
we
do.
are-
I'm getting back.
We are talking about New Jerseys.
Here we go. People were asking about swag. Real quick, this is our swag guy. What do you feel? What do you feel about the swag? What do you want to get into with the swag?
For this place?
Yeah.
I have tons of ideas.
Okay. Do you want to give them a little teaser? Because I was telling everyone about how you've designed all of our Rhinos, all of our Flamingos jerseys. It's like a side project passion of
Collaborated
yours.
with designers, so people that will eventually take over and create them.
Okay.
They refine a little bit. I'll be like, I have an idea here. How about this? So I'm not designing this. I don't have a template. I'm not building it.
You write on a piece of paper and then you say this. It's awesome.
Yeah.
To give you an idea,
In blood.
the original Neon Flamingos is just a skull, okay, on a flamingo's head. Well, no, it's a flamingo dropping a knee onto Brett Hull's body, onto his neck.
Yeah.
Brett Hull is the skeleton, dropping the knee on the flamingo's neck.
Future dead Brett
God,
Hull.
I'm ruining this. It's,
You know what's unreal is that you're the dude. Brett Hull's also the dude. So maybe you're on the cover of the Flamingos. Maybe it was you the whole time.
It's
So, and
always
also
been
think
you.
Brad Bouthelet
Boof!
is the one that drew it out. I went to
Nice.
his house.
It's such a
many,
sick
many
logo,
moons ago
man.
and
Love
drew
it.
this thing out, and he's like, I'm not even that much of an artist, but he did a great job. And
How do you come up with the skeleton of Brett Hull dropping a knee on a flamingo and then having the flamingo's eyes X'd out because it's a knee on a flamingo?
That was a Chris Olsen little play on
Oh,
words. where they
dog.
just stack him and Brad
Amazing.
and Joey. Just
So dirt.
pile on each other with all
Great
these
name
ideas.
drops. It's amazing. So we got to get back into designing again. So that brain is going into our swag. So we'll have some available very soon, and it's going to be awesome.
I'm about to cough like crazy.
Coach Mays, he's out. Get my clothes back. Oh, there we go. I had to get those pre-tape clothes off. There's only one thing left to do now. Man, Coach Mays is good. LB, my man. I don't even have to ask for anything. God, the greatest producer in history. So much so that when you're not here, nothing works. Every time you leave, you just up your value. Like I said, do not snipe this guy from me, okay? From us. This guy is our heart and soul and our everything. So thank you to you, LB, just for always making all of this work. It means so much to us. To Network, Ryan, you're a real piece of poop. We hate you. Stop telling us what to do. If producer Ryan's in there somewhere, let him know that we like him. Mysterious stranger who just rolled in, we love you. Thank you for saying hi. Ethan, great job out there today as he gets set to go do some film work. To our guest, Croker. God, I love you, Croker, man. My dream is to have like you and Brooksy, Brando, just have the crew here all the time because you guys make this show go and you're always out there in the community doing so much good. So thank you for stopping by. Coach Mazer, the best in the biz. Thank you for coming on today. Get better, please. To my grandma. Grandma, I was at Stella's. What was it, like 93rd birthday, I think? 94th birthday day. We were there for lunch. Happy birthday to you, Granny. I hope you have a great rest of your birthday day. And to everyone else, thank you so much for being a part of your show. As you know, it's your show. So it's all about you. So thank you for being a part and thank you for being kind. Always remember, karma is so damn real. Do good things. Good things will start happening to you. It's happened to me. That's how this place got built. We just started caring about other people instead of ourselves, and look what we did. And look where we're going. DufferinAve.com if you want to go get involved, you want to join this team, you want to start creating with us, look at that. Serve it right up for you. Like a little pizza. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat some pizza. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Brando's going to be by, hopefully. He does that a lot. It gets me amped up. So shout out to Brando. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. Enjoy the hockey tonight and the basketball and the Blue Jays. So much going on. Whew.